All right. Up next, we have from our organization, we don't have too many from CCDL actually speaking today, but we are in the middle of a major lawsuit right now against the state of Connecticut. So that requires some funds for top-notch attorneys and all the legal jargon that goes with the filings at the federal court system. So we have our fundraising person here today who wanted to say a few words. So please help me welcome Bob Ferguson.
Thank you, Scott, and thank you, Patriots! A year ago, your elected officials got together in this building and voted for the biggest gun control fraud in this state's history. They saw overwhelming opposition from all gun owners, but they didn't listen and they didn't care. They didn't care about facts. They didn't care about safety. All they cared about was limiting your rights and getting rid of guns with every loophole that they could come up with. They thought, well, gun owners will be upset at first, but they'll get over it. They'll eventually go away. Well, I've got news for you. They were wrong. Here we are a year later, and we didn't go away. We haven't agreed to bow down to their unconstitutional laws. We're fighting them in court, and we're going to fight them at the ballot box in November. As Scott said, we are a lead plaintiff in a lawsuit suing the guy whose office is behind me. Connecticut is on the front lines of gun control. This battle must be won here. If it's not, then it's going to wind up at everybody's doorstep all across this country. Many of you are from out of state, and what happens in Connecticut will wind up at your doorstep. In order to fight any battle, you need the tools to do so. In 1775, they used different tools to turn back tyranny. For now, the tool that we need right now is money. This lawsuit is going to cost millions of dollars to get to the Supreme Court. We're committed to getting there. We're committed to staying in this fight, and we need your commitment as well. The other side already has millions of dollars with their PACs, with Soros, with Bloomberg. They've got millions and billions of dollars supporting them. But we have millions of patriots. For over 200 years, those patriots those rights have been paid for by the blood of those patriots. They've sacrificed, and now we must do the same. Now, there are buckets going around the crowd for donations. I know money is tight for everybody, especially in a state with taxes like we have in Connecticut. But ask yourself, if you could, if it was an option, how much would you pay to keep those rights? Would it be the cost of a magazine? Would it be the cost of a gun? I know we shouldn't have to pay for it. I'm not saying that we should. But the reality is that's what it's going to take to win our lawsuit. Now, there are flyers out there going around. We're having a fundraiser at the Cadillac Ranch on May 18th in Southington. We're having a poker run again later in September, and we'll be having events all through the year leading up to the election. The lawsuit is our key focus, along with throwing out these criminals that occupy this building behind me. The other front that we need to fight on is the ballot box. They ignored us last year, but they can't ignore us anymore. Guys like Don Williams, Ed Meyer, and John McKinney won't have their Senate seats anymore. As you've heard, John McKinney actually thought that he could be your next governor. Even after alienating 500,000 gun owners in this state, he thought, yeah, I'll run for governor. I'll be the top dog. You believe that? Well, let me tell you something. As far as a top dog, my pet Pomeranian could get more votes for governor than John McKinney. Thomas Jefferson once said, when governments fear the people, there is liberty. When people fear the government, there is tyranny. Your elected officials will find out in November what there is to fear. No more are we going to vote for politicians that pander to Bloomberg and Soros and the gun control groups that they finance, all while claiming that they still support the Second Amendment. No more are we going to let them use your safety as an excuse to take away your rights and limit your freedom. No more are we going to tolerate politicians that swear an oath on January 1st and then forget about it the whole rest of the year. But we need to be united in this fight. The gun control crowd wants to divide us all against each other. No more can we let them pit hunters against sporting rifle shooters. No more can we allow shotgunners to be divided against pistol shooters. We must stand together. By doing so, they can lie, misquote polls, and claim that we are in the minority, but we will not be silenced. The sole purpose of the Bill of Rights was actually to protect the rights of the minority. The majority could always vote to do anything that they want. The Founding Fathers constructed the Bill of Rights as a way to guarantee those rights that couldn't be voted away by elected, overbearing politicians. Now, some of those politicians are starting to hear us. This year, we have many pro-Second Amendment candidates, some running for governor, some running for lieutenant governor, and many other seats in the legislature. They need your support too. Find those candidates. Contribute to those candidates if you can. If you don't have the money to do so, then volunteer for their campaigns. Help them make phone calls. If you aren't registered to vote, do it today. We've got tables in the back. If you're not registered to vote, you better be before you leave these grounds. We can take back Connecticut politics, but the work to do that lies with you. Now, even though some politicians that are running are listening, most of them still aren't. Dan Malloy can't hear you. He doesn't work on Saturday. He's sitting in the governor's office down the street. He can't hear you. John McKinney's sitting in his house all the way down in Fairfield. He can't hear you. This is the only thing that they can hear. We vote. Do you want them to hear you? Yeah. All right, then come on. We vote. We vote. We vote. We vote. Let Malloy hear you. We vote. Let McKinney hear you in Fairfield. We vote. Let them hear you in Washington. We vote. Vote. We vote. Thank you, Patriots.